A third-generation grape master from the Yamanashi prefecture, southwest of Tokyo, is growing premium Japanese table grapes in Hawke's Bay. The fruit is sold locally at farmers' markets, high-end fruit stores in Auckland and Wellington, and exported to Japan, where perfect bunches can fetch up to $200 each. Although suffering some damage due to Cyclone Gabrielle that hit the region in February, Budou Senshin was still able to harvest much of its crop.
Our property that we are utilising is roughly 1.8 hectare. We're growing Japanese grapes for eating, so not wine grapes. Budou means grape in Japanese, so we are wanting to push the name Budou as a kind of a brand or something that people would recognise. In Japan, I think grape growing is more popular as eating than wine. A lot of Asian countries, fruit gifts are very popular amongst people. The advantage of growing in New Zealand is the opposite season compared to Japan. So in Japan, there's only grapes that are grown in the house, the indoor growth, which doesn't quite give the full flavour and the colour and the looks compared to outside growing. And so when we grow in New Zealand and we export it back, there's no grapes that are, available on the market that's, outdoor grown, so we can fetch a premium for that. And New Zealand has got around 7 times more ultraviolet, so it's really good for the grapes, and the really crisp kind of season that we go through is just really good for the grapes.
日本のこの日本の品種のパテントを持ってる
So he made a contract with the person who's got the patent for all the varieties of Japanese grapes, and he brought it into New Zealand where it was quarantined for 18 months, and then afterwards he got the nurseries to graft, and then once they were old enough to plant, we planted them here.
まず自然の中で仕事ができるということ。
So the joy he gets from growing is that he can be out in the nature, and maybe some people may laugh at him, but about listening to the grapes, how they're growing, and being able to communicate with the grapes of how they're growing, and to be able to grow the best grapes, and to imagine the customers consuming the grapes that he's growing, to really have that joy on their face of it being delicious is his enjoyment of growing grapes.
そう、味に関して言うと
So at the moment we have 3 varieties that are ready for market sales, and they are Kyoho, Violet King and Yuho. This year we planted 3 more varieties which will be ready in about 3 years' time, and we are hoping in 2024 we have another 4 more varieties that will pass MPI. The characteristic of the 3 grapes that are on the market at the moment is Kyoho is very rich in flavour. That's the one that a lot of the people comment that they've had from their grandfathers and grandmothers' grape plants, and they're very high in bricks, the sugar content. Yuho, the characteristic has been known as they taste like nashi, and each grape can weigh up to 30 grams. And the Violet King is the highest in the bricks out of the 3, and has been known for people to say the size is like a plum and the flavour is like apple and a cherry mixed together. We have 2 styles of growing the vines. One's called Tansho Sente, which means short pruning, and the other one is called Chosho Sente. And so our belief, well, Mr. Higuchi's belief is the furthest away from the trunk the grape is formed, the more flavoursome and bigger the grapes and just more uniform the grapes become. So this tree, Violet King, has been planted for, this is their 5th year of their growth, and from the trunk, the main branch extends all the way out roughly about 7 metres, And then once they're fully matured, it'll be double in length, which will be around 14 metres, 15 metres will be the final length that it will grow to. The way we protect the grapes is we cover them in paper bags and then put a plastic, we call it umbrella, plastic sheet over it just to protect it from sun, wind, rain and all the spray that we have to do during the growth of the grapes. The way we prune the trees influences how the trees are growing, which will determine how the grapes outcome is. And then even getting to the point of thinning out the bunch. So we're really cutting the grapes to probably maybe 1/5 of what the actual bunch size is, just so, all the nutrient can be consumed by the ones that we leave to, give it the full flavour and the full colour, the size, just to make it everything special. We get roughly around 2 tonnes or so from a block, depending on the size and the size that we grow them to. When we send them to Japan, we package them up in like a clear plastic triangle bag. So when we wrap them up and we seal them, they kind of form a little bit of a layer to hold all the grapes together, so stops them from falling off the stems. In Japan, roughly each bunch can be sold to customers from around $70 to $200 a bunch, just depending on the time of the season and how the bunch looks. Yeah, people are willing to pay top dollars for it.